Big Louie down the inside wall, coming back up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tailgate Tuesday here for the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. It's round 2 of the 2021 NASCAR Truck Series, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5. I'm Tyler McMurder, NASCAR CEO, alongside in-race reporter who's actually out there on the racetrack right now, former NASCAR Dirt Touring Series race winner Tyler Wagner. He's in the 02 Chevy Silverado. And we have a change for the race lead, just to get you guys up to speed a little bit. They've completed a couple of laps here at Vegas. Chris Ryan in the 32, driving for Timac Motorsports, is on the pole for this race, but he's just lost the lead and has just made contact with the outside wall coming out of turn 4. He's now back into the 4th position, and it's Alex Tesdall driving for Steel Horse Motorsports, Ford F-150 out front. Here at Las Vegas, it's round 2 of the 2021 season. Now, I want to throw it down to you really quickly there, Tyler. I know that you're on the racetrack and you kind of have your hands full a little bit, but what do you think that we can expect here in this race at Vegas tonight?
It's going to be a lot of tight racing, a lot of one-line racing, trying to advance to that one spot. Track's really tight right now. It's hard for me to turn. I got to roll out a lot.
I noticed that as well. See, I logged a couple of laps just to see exactly what these guys were going to be dealing with here tonight. I actually took Chris Ryan's 32 truck for a couple of laps out there before they went out. And I noticed that it seems to be the middle to high groove where the truck wants to go, but you can find speed down to the inside. It's just a matter of getting the truck loose enough, wanting to go down there and stay there. You're right. And without losing control as well. That's going to be the threshold, the line to walk here today is going to be getting the truck to turn without getting it too loose and out of control. Battle for the lead has settled down just a little bit. I apologize, M-Race reporter letting us know 20 laps to go in stage 1. And just wanted to let the fans know the battle for the lead has settled down a little bit. Alex Tesdall has gapped the drivers running in 2nd and 3rd a little bit, and the running order changing a bit. Behind them, Cameron Norton in the 3 is now up to the 2nd position with his teammate, Timac Motorsports teammate, running in 3rd, Nick Don Francesco. Sorry, what are you saying?
We got a wreck finish line.
You're right, Jeff Grady in the 82. If it's a red truck that you were seeing, yeah, he's...
blue.
Oh, we might have 2 different incidents then, because Jeff Grady was out of shape. Oh, it's the 68 machine of Rob Oglesby driving for Rockstar Racing. He has a bunch of front-end damage to the right front of that truck. Toyota Tundra is a little bit beat in. He's still going, and he's on the lead lap still. He's got Robert Lohman Sr. just in front of him. And as I mentioned, Jeff Grady in the 82 truck, he had some sort of problem as well. He's going to pit road. We're staying green here so far. No cautions for on-track incidents. It's a 134-lap race. Stage 1 is 30 laps in total. And it's a 23-lap fuel run that these trucks are able to get. It might even be a little bit less if they're really able to stay on the throttle a little bit more in these trucks, find the speed up top. So anywhere from, I'd say, 21 to 24 laps is the fuel window for these drivers. Therefore, what I'm getting at is we're going to see green flag pit stops in stage 1 if we don't see any problems on the track that'll bring out the caution. So it's Alex Tesdall, Cameron Norton, Nick Don Francesco, Natro, a little bit deeper in the field here, and Dunson in the 87 truck. That rounds out the top 5. And Dunson's been with us since the days on NASCAR 15. Let's see if we can find him here. There you see him. He has wins here in the NASCAR Truck Series. Driver behind him has wins here in the NASCAR Truck Series as well, and that is Jason Armstrong driving the number 15 Ford F-150. He's on the move. Qualified outside of the top 8 and already worked his way closer to the top 5, up a couple of spots. The battle for the lead is getting a bit more interesting. I didn't see exactly what happened, but Alex Tesdall's getting caught by Cameron Norton. 98 truck slowing down here coming out of 3 and 4. It looked like he was trying to go to pit road, and he spins to the entrance of pit road, and Cameron Norton's going to take over the lead. These are scheduled green flag stops. Some drivers electing to pit a little bit sooner, a little bit earlier than expected, just to maybe split the stage a bit more in half and utilize those fresh tires and gain some track position. But they're going to have to hope that it stays green. They're going to have to hope that it stays green here until the cycle completes. Better than not go one lap down. There's a couple of others on pit road. Timmy Brown there, and Bradley Gilliland in the 74. Cameron Norton in the 3, surrenders the race lead. He is on pit road, comes to a stop in his pit stall. Daniel McGriff in the 13, Ford F-150 a few stalls behind him, does the same. There's Robert Lohman Sr. in the 21, so this gives the lead over to Nick Don Francesco in the 24 until now. There you see him, he comes on pit road, so the green flag cycle of pit stops still going here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. There's Alex Tesdall in the 98. It's going to be interesting to see where he cycles through in terms of where he's going to be running on the leaderboard. We know that he lost a ton of track time because of that incident. And just a bit ago, you saw Cameron Norton on your screen. That's the truck just in front of Alex. And that's what the gap looks like. It's going to be between those two. I'm assuming that once this all cycles through, it's going to be Cameron Norton leading the race again. And Alex Tesdall is going to be somewhere in the top 5. And well, this is huge, folks. Nick Don Francesco comes off pit road in the 24, just in front of Cameron Norton, and this could very well be the battle for the lead once this all cycles through. Dave Marks Jr. in the number 4 Toyota truck just came to pit road, and he surrenders the race lead, and there's a fleet of trucks exiting pit road at this time. All staying below the white line, a ton of traffic on the track, and problems there with a couple of lap trucks just in front of the race leaders. And they're coming up on them now. It was
time to go because I'm a lap down.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Wagner. And we just witnessed a huge moment just in front of the race leaders, or the drivers that are going to be the race leaders here once this all cycles through. Jeff Brady, Robert Lohman Sr., Bradley Gilliland. They were 3 wide for a moment. They're battling to try to stay on the lead lap. They know that when this all cycles through that they're right on the edge of being on the lead lap at the end of stage 1, and they're fighting for all it's worth right now, but it nearly caused a huge pileup over there a couple of laps ago. Under 10 laps to go in stage 1. And there's Brett Baker rejoining the track. He led a lap there. He stayed out longer than pretty much anybody else in this cycle of pit stops. And it's going to be Nick Don Francesco, Cameron Norton out front 1-2 right now. Chevy Silverado's leading the way here for the Vegas Strip 200. We're working stage 1 with 8 laps to go. In stage 1, the top 5 drivers will receive points. It's the stage winner receives that oh so valuable playoff point. Those are key once the postseason begins. Rob Oglesby in the blue, number 68 Toyota Tundra, goes 1 lap down, and it's going to be one heck of a battle between a lot of these guys that are just behind these 2 leaders that are going to be fighting for the free pass spot. And it looks like Rob just got out of control coming out of turn 4, came back up on the track, but he was able to gather it back up. Nobody made any contact there, and that was a close call for Rob. He drives for Rockstar Racing. He got a top 10 last week in the Tailgate 250 at Daytona. and it's a strong start to the season for him. Up until now, he might have a couple of adjustments that he needs to make to this truck. And a quick update for you on Alex Tesdahl. He's scored in the 4th position. It's Dunson in the 87. It's just a couple of trucks just in front of him who scored in 3rd. They're working around a few lap trucks there. Bradley Gilliland in the 74, Jeff Brady in the red, number 82. They are 1 lap down. So a lot of slicing and dicing going on here in the battles up front. We're going to keep our eye on the Stage 1 battle here, the Stage 1 win battle. It's between the teammates, the 24 and the 3. Both drivers have wins in their NASCAR career. Of course, Cameron Norton has NASCAR Platinum Cup Series wins, as well as Nick Francesco in the 24.
4 to go.
They were nearly side-by-side there, and now they are side-by-side. The 3 is along the inside of the 24. 2 legendary numbers when it comes to NASCAR racing, the 3 and the 24. And it's Nick Francesco, Cameron Norton going at it for the Stage 1 win. Cameron found some grip to the inside. He was down low for a moment. Now he's going to go top side, coming out of 4. Couldn't quite get it to stick up there. Nick's going to lead this time by. Oh, I'll tell you, Cameron's not giving up. It's been a little while since Cameron has found victory lane. He would love to get a stage win here at Las Vegas. Got a little bit loose and out of shape there in turns 1 and 2. He gave up a couple of truck lengths. I didn't see exactly what maybe started that. He entered the same way that he did the previous lap, and Nick Francesco drive it away in the 24. You heard Tyler Wagner. White flag is in the air. Final lap in Stage 1. Next time by, they're going to see the green and white checker to signal the end of Stage 1. Everyone will get a bit of a reset here, and they'll be able to take tires, take fuel, maybe make some adjustments, add a piece of tape if they're running cold, take one off if they're running hot. And when it was all said and done here for Stage 1, Nick Francesco bringing it home, Stage 1 winner.
My left front is shot.
Yeah, let's ask the M-Race reporter Tyler Wagner something here. How is the tire wear? We heard some drivers talking a lot about that. I was in the chat where there was about 14 of you practicing. What's it been like so far for tires?
It's just chewing the left fronts right off of it.
Is there anything you can do in terms of grooves out there to maybe help that?
Entering a little softer, not driving in as hard. And not letting the car skate as much. Letting the car get loose, it just makes too much work for the left front tire to hold.
Once you're done
everything off of it.
Once you're done putting your pit adjustments in, can you give us the top 5 from the stage?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
It's Napa, Bowman, Nitro, and Juicy. I didn't do it. I messed up.
Oh no.
I got out of the way.
Oh, that's no good. The green flag back in the air for the Vegas Strip 200, and they're flying, they're thundering into turn 1. Nick Donfrancesco leads them. Cameron Norton second. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., where did he come from? The 51 Toyota Tundra up in third, the highest he's been all race long. Best thing for you to do, Tyler, is to stay out as long as you can, so it's still a one pit stop strategy for you.
4 laps to go.
Yep, run it dry, buddy. That's all you can do. So
13.
yeah, you got to manage it. Make it a one-stop thing for you still. Oh, they're battling up near the front, though. Alex Tesdall just took third on the outside line of all places. There is grip up there. We see it working. A lot of these drivers entering towards the middle and dropping it down on the white line, letting it coast towards the wall, exiting these corners, and they're single file from first to about 7th, but they're all really tightly knotted. There's Chris Ryan. He's back up into the 5th position. He's the pole sitter. Driving on a part-time schedule here in the NASCAR Truck Series. Full-time driver in the NASCAR Motormaster Series on Mondays. And got a good truck. Qualified it up front, and he's trying to get it back there. He's to the outside of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. That's the battle for 4th and 5th. Jeffrey in the 51 is a former NASCAR champion on NASCAR 15 as well as Supercross. The battle for the lead is getting interesting towards the front. Cameron Norton took a look to the inside, could not quite get there. Oh, coming at a 4, he sees daylight again, and he's going back to the inside. Alex Tesdall's down there, 3 wide for the race lead. 3 wide going into turn 1. Can they hold it? They do. Cameron Norton took the lead for a moment by a bumper. But now it's Alex down to the inside on the 98. They're 3 wide again. Oh, and they held it. There's a group of about 12 trucks here, and they're all so close together. They can all take the lead here if anything happens. They're 4 wide down the front straightaway. I'm speechless. It doesn't get much better than this. Look at all of this action. Cameron Norton, Chris Ryan, Alex Tesdall, Nick Donfrancesco, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Dunson, Natro, Brett Baker, Dave Marks Jr. in the 4. They're all right there. Daniel McGriff, Jason Armstrong, Rob Oglesby, Timmy Brown, they're all in this pack, and they're slugging it out here for the lead, folks, in the Vegas Strip 200. Great action on NASCAR Heat 5. Happy to have everybody with us. Glad you're joining us. Oh, Alex Tesdall found the grass a little bit. That silver and black Ford F-150 gathers it back up. The outside line is really moving. Brett Baker goes back to the lead in the 32. Chris Ryan, rather, back to the lead in the 32. Started on pole. Had that problem in stage 1 and has recovered all the way back up to take the lead. And I should point out Timac Motorsports drivers running 1, 2, 3 right now, but here comes Natro in the 26 to spoil the party. And he's going to bring Alex Tesdall and Dunson with him here perhaps. Oh, coming into turn 4, Chris Ryan finds the outside wall, and he finds his teammate Cameron Norton afterwards, and there's a big wreck on the front straightaway. Dave Marks Jr. got a piece of it. Daniel McGriff got a huge piece of it. And I don't know if this is going to trigger a caution or not. I believe that we're going to stay green. Yeah, I saw the whole thing. Chris Ryan got tight at a turn 4. See if we can find him there. You see him in the 32. He got tight at a 4, found the outside wall, came back down the track. His teammate Cameron Norton in the free truck was there. More contact was made, and he was out of shape after that. Spun completely out in front of a couple of trucks. The entire field was able to go by except for Dave Marks Jr., Daniel McGriff. They found a piece of that action. And they're 3 wide again for the lead. They are up front. Natro, Alex Tesdall, Cameron Norton. It's actually a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Nick Don Francesco, since we've last looked, has taken the lead. And he's just in front of that melee. And the battle for the lead, the group up front, battling for the lead, has trimmed down just a little bit after that incident involving Chris Ryan, Dave Marks Jr., Daniel McGriff. So many lead changes, so many different leaders in this one now. Natro in the 26 takes his turn. The white and orange Chevy Silverado slides up into the side of Nick Don Francesco a little bit there, but he's going to lead this lap, and it's going to give us 8 different leaders in this race so far. Couple of trucks already making their way to pit road. Jeff Grady came in the lap before there. Jason Armstrong coming in this time by, and he was in this lead group. So some strategy deployed here by some of these drivers. We know that Tyler Wagner did not pit at the end of stage 1. He's our in-race reporter. He had to pit about 4 laps into the stage. And let's ask you this, though. Everybody's coming to pit road here soon. Nick Don Francesco just came to pit road in the 24. And I'm hoping that he got it slowed down without getting a speeding penalty. It's questionable. And Alex Tesdall in the 98, it looked like he wanted to go to pit road, did not get that Ford F-150 slowed down enough, and he decided to put his foot back on the throttle and keep it going for one more time. But I'm pretty sure we're going to expect that 98 on pit road this time by. And forget it, throw what I said out the window. He stays on the racetrack, and I'm really not too sure. He must have just maybe got out of shape when Nick Don Francesco was trying to make his way to pit road. Nevertheless, the battle for the lead is still heating up here. But yeah, let's throw it down to in-race reporter Tyler Wagner. Tyler, can you make it to the end of the stage on the fuel that you have?
I don't got to be with nobody right now. This is me. I'm all by myself after I got cycled out. I had to pit on lap 4.
Right, but can you make it to the end of the stage on the fuel that you have?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. See, everybody has a one-stop strategy that they're doing in this stage, so I really think that this is going to cycle through and this is going to be all right for you. Like, you'll be back on the lead lap.
Just got to hook the tires. I think you gotta save your tires if you want to make it to the end.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Dunson just got on pit road. Now he's parked in his pit stall. The battle for the lead looks like this. Natro in the 26 leads the way. Cameron Norton in the 3 just behind him. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 in 3rd. And Brett Baker driving the number 2 Chevy Silverado. He's running in 4th. Whoa, Cameron gets a little bit out of shape coming out of turn 2, gathers it back up, chased it all the way down onto the apron. He's going to lose 2nd place to Jeffrey Robinson Jr., and actually now Cameron's going to surrender 3rd all around. He's going to come down pit road, and that's going to be the way it goes for him. So Alex Tesdall moves up a position into 4th, and here comes Cameron Norton. Stage 1, we saw 1 pit stop in the stage. Stage 2, we're going to see 1 pit stop again, and as you can see, we're working through that cycle here of pit stops. In the final stage, you guys are going to see a lot more than just one pit stop, and if it stays green throughout the entire final stage, like it did for the Tailgate 250 at Daytona, it might come down to some serious strategy here. Might be some drivers trying to conserve their tires, conserve their fuel, and stretch it out a little bit in the final stage. It's a bit of a gamble, though. If you do that, you're losing track position, you're losing time, and it all comes down to when the cautions fly and if they fly in the final stage. Rob Oglesby comes to pit road in the 68. A couple of trucks that are out of this race we should bring light to. Jeff Grady in the number 82 machine, parked on pit road and motionless, done for the day. Nobody working on that truck. Chris Ryan on pit road now, Brett Baker on pit road now. Alex Tesdahl leaving pit road. And another driver out of this race is Robert Lohman Sr., former race winner in the NASCAR Street Tech Series on GTA 5. He's parked motionless in the number 21 machine for Brett Baker Racing. Been really impressed with the number 26 machine. He was the leader here, but he's going to surrender that. He's now come to pit road, 4 tires, or excuse me, yeah, it does appear to be a 4-tire pit stop for Natro in the 26. That was quite a long stop for him as he's down and away. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck not too far behind him, and Natro's driving for a championship caliber team, caliber driver. Bruv Motorsports. Dakota Bruv, former NASCAR Motomaster Series champion, has assembled quite the team here for the 2021 NASCAR Truck Series campaign. Tyler Wagner in the 02, Bradley Gilliland in the 74, and Natro in the number 26. They have 2 other trucks that they will be fielding part-time drivers in on a partial basis. Going to throw it down to the M-Race reporter, Tyler Wagner, former NASCAR Dirt Touring Series race winner. Tyler, we need to know this. Who is the current race leader? What number is the truck that's leading this one?
74.
There he is, folks. Now, we've seen this before. Bradley Gilliland is... he's won stages because of fuel strategy and stretching tires and fuel, making it last out there. Could he be on the way to doing the same here in the Vegas Strip 200, Stage 2, looking for the Stage 2 win? Let's also ask you this, Tyler, how many laps to go?
I'm getting ready to cross the line. I'll tell you in a second.
Perfect.
I'm 1 lap down, so we'll do 3 laps.
Perfect. So 3 laps to go for Bradley Gilliland in the 74, but here comes Brett Baker in the number 2 Chevy Silverado to the inside. I feel like you're going to have to tell us, Tyler, was that a change for the lead? Is the 2 out front now? Wow. So Brett Baker has taken the lead. Now, I don't think that Bradley Gilliland has pit yet. I think that this was a wild strategy to stretch the fuel and the tires, and it almost paid off for him. He's going to come up a little bit short. Hopefully he can make it to the end of the stage and still be on the lead lap, and the time will tell. Brett Baker has taken the race lead in the 2. Now Cameron Norton has taken over second. That was him in the 3 truck, leading the 3 truck parade of Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Dunson in the 87, and himself. They're trying to run down Cameron Norton before the end of stage 2. They got 2 laps to do it. Pit road is closed.
I think this is the last lap.
Thanks very much. Coming out of turn 4, they almost got there. Brett Baker wins stage 2 in the Vegas Strip 200. What a drive. It's been a consistent night for Brett Baker and that number 2 team. He's been in the top 10 since the drop of the green flag, and he's been slowly, methodically working his way towards the front. Cameron Norton finishes in 2nd, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in 3rd, Dunson in 4th, and it's Natro in the 26th, rounding out the top 5. Those are the drivers that receive the stage points for stage 2. 19 drivers started this race, and we've got about, I believe we have 16
Brett
left on the racetrack.
Omen 2nd, Juicy 3rd, your Dunson 4th, and Nitro 5th.
Yes, sir. They'll be receiving the points. And the playoff point, that goes to Brett Baker. It's going to be a wild restart. They know that, see, if these drivers have been paying attention to the trends, we don't see very many cautions here in NASCAR on NASCAR Heat 5, the NASCAR Motormaster Series on Mondays. We don't see them very much. Here in the Tailgate Truck Series, we're yet to see a caution for an on-track incident in the first 2 races here. But we're green. Final stage at Las Vegas. Listen to those trucks, guys. Brett Baker leads. Cameron Norton in 2nd. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. 3rd. Dunson 4th. They're right there. They bounced off each other just a little bit. They gather it back up, and now they thunder into 1 and 2. Side-by-side battle for the lead going into 1. Cameron Norton in the 3 takes the lead from Brett Baker. Timac Motorsports teammates battling it out with Juicy J Motorsports driver just behind them, and there's the Steel Horse Motorsports driver of Dunson in the number 87 Ford F-150 jumping into the mix. He's now in 3rd. 4 different teams represented in the top 5 right now, and they're all battling here in Las Vegas. Nick DonFrancesco runs in 6th, Alex Tesdall in 7th. Don't count them out. They're still right there in this lead pack. Bradley Gilliland in the 74 running in 8th right there with him. Jason Armstrong in 9th, and it's Chris Ryan, the pole sitter for this race, rounding out the top 10 in the 32. Dunson went way up towards the wall. Natro had nowhere to go. He lifted, and when he did, he came down into the right side of Nick DonFrancesco. Contact there was made. Natro had to gather it up. He lifted in the process of gathering it back up and lost a bunch of spots. Now drops back to the 8th position. Still right there in the draft with these drivers, though. 10 trucks are actually all in the draft and within striking distance of taking the lead. 19 drivers started this race, 16 of them left on the racetrack, and I'd say about 10 of them at this point, if a caution doesn't come out, have a shot to win this one. It's Dave Marks Jr. running in 11th, leading the 2nd group of trucks, and they're trying to charge their way back forward. And there's Dave. Picked up a pole award for the NASCAR Motormaster Series race last night at Atlanta. He just lost 11th, though, to Timmy Brown in the number 8 Chevy Silverado. Excuse me, Ford F-150, rather. And now he's falling back into the clutches of Rob Oglesby and Tyler Wagner. Daniel McGriff behind him in the 15th position. Good battles all over this racetrack, folks. Oh! Dunson running in third, finds the wall again, and this time he's going to be the one that loses the positions. He gives way. He's up top still, and a number of drivers going to the inside of him. Nick Don Francesco was one of them. He's now to the inside of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. That's the closest battle towards the front. He clears them in the 24. So it's the 3, the 24, the 51 in the top 3. And I'm noticing something here. You might be able to help me with this. The inside line is working at this point in the race, and I think it's because a lot of these drivers have made adjustments. They've found a way to get these trucks to start rotating these corners better without getting out of shape. And I think that's what's allowing them to stay down towards the inside. And we talked about that earlier in the broadcast, Tyler. I felt like the middle to the top was where the truck wanted to be. But I was mentioning to you, and you agreed, I thought that if you could loosen it up without getting it too out of shape and too loose, that you could run the bottom and get some speed down there.
Oh yeah, that's where you're going to be right now, for the speed that in the middle line, you can hold them off from there because there's not enough room to pass.
Couldn't agree more. The speed has went from the top and middle down to the bottom. After a number of pit stops have been made in this one, we're going to see more here in the final stage before we see the checkered flag fly. It's Cameron Norton leading the race, folks. Top 5 trying to venture away from the second 5 of the top 10, if you want to put it like that. Bradley Gilliland is in the 6th position. There's a bit of a gap in between them. The draft is powerful here at Las Vegas, but is it powerful enough for these drivers to stay up there with them? And problems. 4 wide for a moment. Cameron Norton was the leader, and he just lost the lead, bounced off the outside wall, and he's still losing positions. This is now in the back straightaway. Back into 9th. In the clutches of Jason Armstrong in the 15 there. I didn't even see exactly what happened. I was checking in with a couple of other drivers. Nick Don Francesco is now taking the lead because of this.
I think he got a little out of shape coming out of turn 2. I just caught the tail end of what happened.
It's a tough break, but still a lot of laps left in this one. He's still up there in the pack. The draft is strong. He should be able to work his way back forward. And the battle for the lead is on. Really, the battle for the lead, Tyler, has not stopped. Alex Tesdall to the seriously. Alex Tesdall to the inside of Nick Don Francesco. Nineteen drivers started this race, and we've had 11 different drivers lead a lap. And that's how competitive every single NASCAR Truck Series race is. And just a moment ago, Alex Tesdall was to the inside of Nick Don Francesco trying to take the lead. Now, Nick Don Francesco is to the inside of Alex Tesdall trying to take the lead back. It just never stops, folks. Steel Horse Motorsports, Timac Motorsports, 2 highly respected teams here in NASCAR. They bounce off each other just a little bit there. That actually allowed Jeffrey Robinson Jr. to close back in just a little bit. Natro in the 26 as well. They're going to try to go to the inside, it looks like. And now Alex Tesdall found the outside wall coming out of turn 4. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. was right on his quarter panel when it happened, so he had to lift, or he was going to get turned towards the inside grass, and he's going to lose a couple of positions because of it. So Nick takes the lead for now. Because of that, the battle kind of simmered down. Natro up into the 2nd position. Alex Tesdall in 3rd, but still right there in the thick of things in the striking distance zone. Top 10 all under a blanket. Then it's Timmy Brown running at 11th. He's kind of on his own. Dave Marks Jr. in 12th. Rob Oglesby 13th.
Another thing I noticed, they don't like this dirt track guy getting around.
Now, we were talking a lot about the inside line suddenly being the place to be. Now I see trucks venturing towards the top side, and they're making it work.
It's moving back up the track again. As you got good tires, you can run that bottom, but as they go away, you go right back up to the middle and top side.
It's like an ocean wave, folks. Closest battle towards the front on the track right now is this one. It's Alex Tesdahl, Bradley Gilliland. They're 3 wide there for a moment with Dunson in the 87. Looks like Alex got a little bit out of shape in the 98. Alex has led a lot of laps in this one, and he would love to win one of these NASCAR Truck Series races. He's won NASCAR Platinum Cup Series races, but he's never won one of these truck races. He'd love to do just that. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. comes down pit road, and just as I say that, Alex Tesdahl in the 98 went for a slide through the infield grass, and there he is. He's gathered it back up, but he has dropped all the way back into 10th position on the racetrack. So Alex's hopes of winning this race have really went up in smoke, and all very quickly, but we still have a number of cycles of pit stops that we're going to have to go through, and if a caution comes out, he'll be right back in the thick of things. Cameron Norton in the 3 truck is on pit road.
52 laps to go. I'm trying to wait and see if the leaders quit so I can get my lap back and be on the lead lap.
Yeah, we've been lean, mean, clean, and green since the drop of the green flag in this one, and I'm a little bit surprised. Well, I guess I'm not, because we have a field of talented drivers every week, 19 of them here tonight, and but I get it's all about the draft. Well, it's not all about the draft, but the draft is definitely a big factor in this one. They've been in a group, and they've been packed up a lot in this one. The restarts have been wild. We've seen a lot of 3 and 4 wide, and I'm just a little surprised we haven't seen at least one yellow. Yeah, who was that? I believe it was Alex Tesdahl in the 98. I'm starting to... Yeah, his night has gone from bad to worse. His night was actually great for quite a while, but now finds himself struggling a little bit. He had that problem just a bit ago where he went through the infield grass and went from in the top 5 back to 10th and out of the draft with the lead group to spinning here at the pit road entrance, and he might be 11th or 12th once the cycle of pit stops is done. A lot of these trucks are on pit road now, Tyler.
Well, the leader hasn't cleared once yet. He's still out there. So I'm trying to hang as long as I can to get my lap back.
Who do you have as the race leader? Is it the 24?
Yep.
Okay, now he's...
on the pit road now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was just going to bring light to that. Nick DonFrancesco on the pit road, as well as Bradley Gilliland in the 74. I believe that this is going to give the lead over to...
Oh boy, that ain't good.
Who do you have as the leader? 51?
Still 24. He lapped everybody but second.
Ah, so he really stretched his fuel and tires. He stayed out a couple of extra laps there. It's going to be interesting to see where everybody cycles through. We have a caution.
Yeah, I spun out. I ran out of fuel trying to get onto the pits, and it just kicked her around.
So this is the first caution of the 2021 season for an on-track incident, folks, for the NASCAR Truck Series. Give it to our in-race reporter, Tyler Wagner, to do it. Leave it to him.
Didn't help that right rear was at 8%. It was about to go out.
Yeah, that never helps. These drivers now have an opportunity to make some very key adjustments, maybe repair some damage that they didn't have time or didn't want to take the time to repair under green flag conditions. So this is a big moment here in the race, and it's also coming in the final stage of the race. Here we go. So Nick Donfrancesco is going to be lined up on the front row. Bradley Gilliland right there with him. Rob Oglesby is up there in third for the restart. Alex Hesdall has another shot. Green flag back in the air. You're watching the Vegas Strip 200 on NASCAR Heat 5. Rob Oglesby takes second, and he's right there with your race leader, looking good in the Toyota Tundra, driving for Rockstar Racing. Oh, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. came out of turn 4 a little bit too quick, and he found the outside wall. He's going to be all right, but he dropped to the back of the pack, and he's now running in the 16th position, if I'm not mistaken.
14.
Oh, okay, thank you. And so now out front it is Nick Donfrancesco in the 24. Rob Oglesby is in second, but now he's getting shuffled a little bit. The 2 truck, that's Brett Baker. The 3 wide actually here. They're trying to get around the 68 at all angles. They were drafting with him for a little bit, but now Rob Oglesby getting thrown to the wolves. He bounces off the wall, and he's going to give up a couple more spots here. Everybody was able to go around, mostly around the outside there of that one. Chris Ryan, Dave Marks Jr., Tyler Wagner, Timmy Brown, they all capitalized there and gained a couple of spots. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. gained a couple of spots back because of that incident. And Rob Oglesby's run at the front has come to a bit of a crashing halt here. He's still on the track and rolling, but it's not the way he wanted it to go. And it wasn't anything of his fault either. He was hard at racing. They were 3 wide, and things got really close, really fast. Well, let's reset things just a little bit for you. So Nick Donfrancesco out front. He leads the way, and he's got, I'd say, oh man, he's probably got about an 8 to 10 truck length advantage over Cameron Norton. It grows at times when he's on the straightaways. Cameron Norton runs in second. It's Brett Baker running in third, Natro in fourth, Bradley Gilliland in fifth, Alex Hesdall in sixth. Dunson is in the 7th position. Chris Ryan is in 8th. Dave Marks Jr. runs in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 is Timmy Brown in the number 8 machine. Tyler Wagner 11th. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in 12th. And they're all still rocking and rolling around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And problems there. Chris Ryan in the 32 hit the apron, and he's up over, flipping over in turns 3 and 4. Contact was made with Tyler Wagner in the 02, but we're still green at Las Vegas. I can't believe we didn't see a caution for that. And now Chris Ryan in the 32 comes to pit road. Tyler Wagner still rolling on the track. In race reporter, he lost a lot of ground there. Bradley Gilliland in the 74 now with a problem over on the back straightaway. He was spun. Alex Hesdall in the 98 had nowhere to go. Contact was made between those two.
I'm looking at the front of my car and telling me how bad it is.
That's not terrible. It's only the right front mostly. Right front's bashed in quite a bit. Center's okay.
That's why I won't turn.
Yeah, let's throw it down to the in-race reporter, Tyler Wagner here. You've seen a lot of this before. The closing rate in these trucks is pretty crazy at Las Vegas when you're running in a pack. What happened there? What did you see?
it just looked like he got into the turn, and when he went to let off, the rear tire said, "I don't want to grip no more," and it just went around. By the time he got there, if you thought about it, you were hitting him. But I was stuck in between two of them, and I had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it all happened really quick on my screen as well. And there are a lot of drivers that have been involved in a couple of incidents here in the final stage. We've only had one caution for an on-track incident, but arguably we should have had maybe two, maybe three. There's been minor incidents. There's been minor incidents here and there where a truck makes contact with the wall, comes down in front of a couple of others. They all need to check up. There's been little things like that, but there's been a couple of major incidents as well. This is what the front looks like. Nick Donfrancesco is the leader. Don't look now, though, folks. We should bring light to this. Cameron Norton in the 3 is catching him, and he's catching him pretty quickly. We saw these two battling side by side earlier in this race for the lead earlier, battling for the stage win, and it's looking like they're going to be battling for the race win. Throwing it down to Tyler Wagner. How many laps to go?
I'm getting right across the line right now. There are 35 to go.
Excellent. Well, 35 laps to go, and fuel window being 21 to 24 laps, depending on...
13 laps I got to pit. I pitted that last caution we had.
It's going to be interesting here. I'm thinking that it's going to be close. Everybody here might be, not everybody, but the ones not necessarily battling for the lead might consider saving some fuel. We have a new race leader, folks. He caught him, and he passed him. Cameron Norton is out front here in Las Vegas. And fans are cheering, you can hear him. Oh, and there was a little bit of contact made. Nick found the outside wall in the number 24 truck. He's all right, but looked pretty severe there for a little bit. Brett Baker in third, Dunson in fourth. They're working together. There you see them. They're trying to run down the duo of Cameron Norton and Nick Donfrancesco. And what I was trying to say there a moment ago was, I think some of these drivers, maybe not towards the front, might be trying to save it so they can stretch the fuel, stretch the tires, and maybe only have to pit once more in this race.
That's the one time I wish I had closer.
So it's Cameron out front, Nick in second in the 24, Brett Baker in third in the 2, Dunson in fourth in the 87, Natro's all alone in fifth. He's in the number 26 machine. And how about Timmy Brown, folks? I haven't spoken too much about him in this race. He's been outside the top 10 for a lot of this one. He didn't get any stage points in stage 1 and stage 2, but right now finds himself running in the 6th position, just in front of Alex Tesdall. They're actually having a really good battle for that position. And they have a pair of Rockstar Racing Toyotas running right behind them in 7th and 8th, and it kind of looks like they're close enough together to work together, maybe even inch a little bit closer. And there they are. Rockstar Racing Toyotas. There's more of them than just this, but these two are working together. They're right in close proximity of each other. And Jeffrey in the 51. Former NASCAR champion on NASCAR 15, Dave Marks Jr.'s been with us for quite some time. He races also with us in the NASCAR Elite National Series in the ARCA cars on iRacing, and does quite well over there in the world of iRacing. And now they're going to split up for now. Rockstar Racing teammates, because Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is coming to pit road. And we saw just a moment ago, Dave had a bit of a problem coming out of turn 4. He found the outside wall, and Chris Ryan in the 32 was able to get around him, and that was for position. So, green flag pit stops are beginning, and like I said, I believe that some of these drivers that are pitting now are also going to have to pit again before the end of the race. So, some of these drivers are... I think some drivers are off sequence as well, just because of strategies that they needed to do because of damage they suffered from earlier incidents. So, some of these drivers are kind of laying in the bed that they made for themselves, whereas drivers like Cameron Norton in the 3, Nick Don Francesco in the 24, they might be able to pull off some sort of strategy like that. They're up front. They had no reason to have to short pit in any of these strategies earlier. And so it begins, folks. Cameron Norton, Dunson, Natro, 3 of the top 5 on pit road. Puts Alex Tesdall up to 3rd, Timmy Brown up to 4th, and we're going to keep our eye on Nick Don Francesco in the 24. He is still the leader. He's yet to come to pit road. Brett Baker rather in the 2, yet to come to pit road either, and he's closing in on the 24 rapidly, and I believe that the 2 is coming to pit road, and he is. Here comes Brett Baker. He picked up a stage win earlier tonight, looking to maybe perhaps pick up the race win as well. Closest battle towards the front 4 position is Alex Tesdall in the 98 and Timmy Brown in the 8. That's currently the battle for 2nd and 3rd. They were battling for 5th and 6th before the cycle of green flag pit stops began. And it looks like both of them are going to be venturing down to pit road this time by. They are. And here he comes, folks. Surrendering the race lead, Nick Don Francesco is on pit road in the 24. And most of the cycle is complete at this point. There you see the 15. Perfect. You heard it from Tyler himself, and that is Jason Armstrong. There you see him in the Ford F-150. Long-time NASCAR driver, started with us back on NASCAR Heat 2. Right here in the NASCAR Truck Series is where he made his debut. He has wins here. Getting a little bit of spotlight for No Shift Motorsports, putting in a good run here tonight in the number 15 truck, but you're right. Surrenders the race lead. He's on pit road, pulls it to a stop in his pit stall. And we're going to throw it down to the in-race reporter, Tyler Wagner. How many laps to go in this race?
There's just I'll know here in a second. I'm in the pits right now.
Ah, okay, no problem. I believe that this is what the battle for the lead is going to look like once this all cycles through, though. And it appears that it's going to be Cameron Norton out front when it comes to these front runners. And Natro has lost touch with this group. And now there's Nick Don Francesco. He was the leader. He's in 3rd once this all cycles through. This is going to be the top 4 once the green flag pit stop cycle is complete. And Dunson in the number 87 now looking to the inside of Cameron Norton.
Yep, that's the battle for the lead right there.
And yeah, let me know about laps to go once you hit the start-finish line for me. I know we're getting close. In fact, I'm almost certain that these were the very last pit stops that we're going to see in this one.
To go.
20?
Yeah.
Wow. So these drivers are all going to be right on the limit for their fuel and for their tires. And they can't really save their tires at this point. They're battling for the win. They're right there with each other. So there's no saving. I don't know how this is going to work. This is going to be interesting. 4 drivers battling for the win here with under 20 laps to go in the Vegas Strip 200. And Nitro is the one still in the 5th position in the 26. He's lost a little bit of ground to these guys, but he's right there still. Don't count him out. Don't count out Jason Armstrong in the 15. He stayed out longer than anybody else on that last green flag cycle of pit stops. And if anybody's going to be in danger of making it to the end, it's going to be anyone but the number 15 truck of Jason.
Track's definitely getting past. This ran my fastest lap of the race.
Rubbering in towards the middle groove. Where were you on the track?
Up around the fence.
Interesting. Kyle Larson line. Man, I'll tell you, you're watching one heck of a battle for the lead. It was Dunson that was actually up in the 2nd position just a moment ago, but he's losing, I don't know, he lost grip down on the bottom. He was hugging the white line all the way around this racetrack, and as soon as he left there, it was Cameron Norton who put his nose to the inside, and that allowed himself and Brett Baker to get around him, and now they are 2nd and 3rd, trying to run down Nick Donfrancesco in the 24. As long as they're in the draft and as long as they stay within close proximity like this, there's nowhere really that Nick can run, and they've got a shot for this win. But again, don't count out Jason Armstrong. If this comes down to fuel and tires, he is in the best shape when it comes to that, and we know that he can definitely make it the distance on the fuel and tires he has.
It did the same time I did this 15 to go, and I got 17 laps to fuel up.
Ah, okay, so both of yous are actually on the perfect strategy. Could come down to you two at the very end. 15 laps to go, and the battle for the lead is heating up. Cameron Norton to the inside of Nick Donfrancesco. The 3 and the 24 have really been battling all race long here at Las Vegas. Cameron down low, Nick up top, and teammate Brett Baker behind them both. He's got the front row seat in the house. Dunson in 4th, and Cameron's going to tuck back in line. I could be wrong, Tyler, but at this point in the race, it's kind of like a Daytona race. So the draft is pretty powerful with these trucks, and at this kind of a track for them on these NASCAR heat games. Are you maybe setting them up and sizing them up, seeing what your truck is capable of and learning to see what you have to do? It's kind of how I would be playing it at this point. Cameron Norton might be kind of testing to see what his truck is capable of, to see what kind of a last lap move he maybe needs to pull. A little bit further back, we got a good battle here. Tyler Wagner in the 02, Timmy Brown in the 8, Alex Tesdall in the 98, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Now, the thing is, all 4 of these drivers at one point were a major factor in this one, especially Alex Tesdall in the 98. He's led a lot of laps in this one, and Tyler Wagner got a little bit out of shape. He's going to let some of these drivers go.
I got pushed up to the fence and just got loose in that rubber.
The save, though, gathered up and kept going. And now Jeffrey Robinson Jr. comes to pit road, the former NASCAR champ from NASCAR 15 on the PlayStation 3 console.
10 to go.
Well, you heard it, folks, from the in-race reporter. And there you see him coming out of turn 2, running in the top 10, and he's hoping to finish there, having a good run, solid run. How's the truck feeling?
Loose. I'm just outside the top 10. I'm in 11th now.
Oh, okay.
No.
There you go. Under 10 laps to go, folks. Coming around to 9 laps to go this time. And the top 4 are still looking pretty much the same way they did just a couple of laps ago when we last checked in. Cameron Norton's still right there, ready to pounce, and he's starting to think about the outside line now. Tucks back in line behind the 24. It's going to be a dogfight until the end, folks, and they know that the laps are winding down. They know that it's crunch time. They've been in this position before many times. They've all done so much league racing here in NASCAR.
Time of being nice is done. Not very much room's given.
I agree. So Nick Don Francesco is looking for his 3rd career NASCAR Truck Series win. Cameron Norton is actually looking for his 1st career NASCAR Truck Series win. So is Brett Baker in the 2. So is Dunson in the 87. Excuse me, actually, Dunson looking for his 2nd career Truck Series win. My apologies. So there's 2 drivers right here in the thick of things that have an opportunity to get their 1st win in the series. And they're going to have to go through 2 long-time NASCAR drivers to do it. Whoa, and they were nearly 3 wide on the back straightaway. Dunson in the number 87 Ford F-150 went venturing down there and then thought better of it. And now Cameron Norton in the 3 drops out of this pack, and now he is coming down pit road, and evidently these drivers are going to have to come to pit road before the end of this one. Now that's what I mean. Keep your eye on Jason Armstrong in the 15 and Tyler Wagner in the 02. They stayed out longer than anyone, but Armstrong on the lead lap has an opportunity to maybe win this thing if it all stays green.
As long as there ain't a green-white checker, I got enough gas.
It's going to be interesting, and now Brett Baker takes the lead in the 2 truck from Nick Don Francesco. The fans are roaring. You can hear them here on the NASCAR Heat 5 game. How many lead changes have we seen? How many leaders have we seen here in the Vegas Strip 200 tonight? This has been one heck of a race. It's been one heck of a tailgate truck Tuesday. I can't wait to see who's going to win. And it's going to be interesting to see where they all cycle through. If they do all end up pitting, Cameron's already pit, so if he, for example, maybe took right sides in a splash, he might actually gain a little bit of time on the drivers in front of him that maybe only might take a splash only with no tires. There is Cameron, and now he's praying that these drivers need to make a pit stop still, because he was up there battling for the win. And the only way that he's going to be able to keep battling for the win in this one in the final laps is if everybody needs to pit still. I don't know if that's going to happen. Right now, Brett Baker leads the way, looking for his first career NASCAR Truck Series win. Former NASCAR champion on NASCAR 15.
Oh, 2 laps to go.
2 to go. So the leader's hitting the line right now. So is that 1 to go for them? Is this it?
No, it's 2 to go.
Okay, thank you very much.
Like this time now.
So 2 laps to go. 2 full circuits around Las Vegas Motor Speedway until we find out who the winner is. And the battle for the lead is heating up, folks. Brett Baker, Nick DonFrancesco, teammates at Timac Motorsports, they're going at it. And Dunson in the 87 is off the pace. He's falling behind the front 2 that are battling for the lead right now. They're side by side coming out of turn 4. Nick DonFrancesco takes the lead back from Brett Baker as they cross the line. That was the end.
Number 24 got it.
Oh my God, what a battle for the win that was. They came to the line side by side and by a bumper. Nick DonFrancesco in the 24 wins the Vegas Strip 200.
26.870, 26.901.
Oh my goodness. So it came down to 4/100ths, less than 4/100ths of a second between the 2 and the 24. And it was just barely. It was Nick DonFrancesco in the 24 on the outside line picking up the win. 3rd career NASCAR Truck Series win. And what a finish that was. I can't believe we just witnessed that. I can't believe the close finish that just occurred in front of us. That was insane.
You say someone ended up falling off there towards the end?
Did you get pictures of the results?
Yes.
Thank you. And sorry, what did you say?
Did you say someone fell off there at the end? Was it the 3 car?
87, Dunson. He lost ground a little bit with the top 2, and they started to walk away and have their own battle in the final laps there. Fastest lap of the race goes to Alex Tesdall in the 98. No surprise, he was quick all night long, folks. We're going to get a couple of interviews before we sign off. And we apologize to the viewers at home. We are going to go to a black screen just for about 10 seconds here to connect with our front finishers. And was it Dunson who finished in 3rd? Who was the 3rd finisher? Who finished 3rd, man? It's in your menu where your games are. I can't help you with that right now.
Stick. I should have slid up a little bit, but I ain't gonna win him that way.
Hold on. Let's begin the post-race interviews here. We've got the top 2 finishers that are going to be lined up for interviews, starting with Brett Baker. Brett, we just witnessed, I'm pretty sure we just witnessed the most exciting finish in NASCAR Truck Series history. It was a drag race coming to the line, side by side, you and Nick DonFrancesco, teammates at Timac Motorsports. What was going through your mind when you were battling for the lead and for the win there at the end with not only him, but Dunson in the 87 and Cameron Norton in the 3 was right there as well?
Well, I had to save a little bit of fuel and tires there during that run, and when I saved just enough, I figured it's time to try to push it. And when I got by Bowman, I'm thinking it's only a matter of time before I can try to get by Napa, and I got by him, and I thought I could hold him off, but he drove it into 3 and made it stick. And, you know, I didn't want to rough him up or anything. I don't race like that. I don't want to win that way. I want to earn it the right way. And he won the race. He deserved it. He was fast all day. So congrats to him. He's my teammate. And, hey, second place finish, you know, early in the season is a great way and a boost of confidence.
You got a stage win tonight. You picked up a second place finish in our point system. That's 2 playoff points that you earned tonight. And like, as you know, racing in NASCAR for a long, long time, you know that those become very valuable in the postseason. So tell us what kind of momentum and confidence that gives you moving forward here for your truck season.
I think if we just remain consistent, you know, battle in the top 10, get stage points, and if we find ourselves in a position up front towards the end to go for the win, go for it. We used a little bit of strategy to win that second stage with taking 2 tires and a little bit of fuel just to barely make it over the rest of the field, catching us like that. And I was thinking for a while, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? I'm going to just ride behind these guys, and we made it. One more lap and we would have been done.
What was the speed like out there for everybody? What was the racing like? We saw so many different grooves used. There was times when the top looked faster at the start of the race, and then towards the middle of the race, the inside line seemed to be quicker. And then what groove was working best for you? And describe how the race was going when it came to tire wear and the grooves that were used.
I think it depends on who you're racing with. Like, if you're trying to pass somebody, but you know they're a little bit slower, if they take the inside, go to the outside. But if somebody's faster than you, get their draft and try to take away their line by going to the inside. So it's really just it's simple decision making out there, and that's what we had to do tonight to go for, you know, the win and eventually finish second. Which we had to take away some lines. We got by both Bowman and Napa on the outside. Or I crossed over Bowman and got by Napa on the outside. And, yeah, it just depends on, you know, what lane they're running. If you know you can run the other lane, go for it.
Fantastic job tonight. Congratulations on a second place finish.
Thanks, man.
And over to victory lane we go. We find Nick Donfrancesco, driver of the number 24 Chevy Silverado. And I was just mentioning to Brett Baker, that was the drag race of the year, man. Let me tell you, that was perhaps the best and most exciting finish we've ever seen in the NASCAR Truck Series. It came down to less than 4/100ths of a second. It was a drag race between you two, and you beat them by a fender, not even a fender, coming to the line. What was going through your mind when you were able to get your 24 truck beside his truck and have a shot and know that you were going to drag race them?
Well, first of all, I'd like to start off by thanking my team, sponsors, you know, all them guys that make this deal happen. But anyway, yeah, man, we came off that Alpha 2 with a huge run, and I had to use it, because if I didn't use it, I was going to follow him to the finish line, so I knew I had to do the opposite of what he did. So I took it to the outside and I prayed to God it stuck, which it did. And from there, I just had to hope and pray. I beat him to the line.
You had a good truck all race long. Track position seemed to be on your side all night long. What was your strategy going into this one, and how were you able to keep yourself at the front of the field for the entire event?
Honestly, I didn't really have a plan going into this race, but as the race kept going and going, I kept trying to save as much as I could, so I'd have enough towards the end and get that extra lap or two that I needed to get it done. And
was there any... Sorry, continue.
And the truck was just so good, man. Like, I can't believe it. Truck did most of the work. All I had to do was just drive.
Was there any doubt in your mind, though, when you got to the inside of you, or when you maybe got to the outside of him? Did you think he was going to slide up into you?
Oh, yeah. It came across my mind at least 2 times. Coming to the line and coming off the corner.
Was your mind going a mile a minute like mine was just watching?
No, I was a little bit relaxed come to the finish. But I think his was a little bit more going a mile more than a minute than mine was.
Well, just want to say congratulations, third career NASCAR Truck Series win for you, and just great job tonight here at Las Vegas.
All right, thank you.
Going to throw it now down to the in-race reporter, Tyler Wagner. Final thoughts on tonight's Vegas Strip 200.
It was definitely wild, that's for sure. And your done son was the third place finisher.
Oh, okay, excellent. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, heck of a run for him in that number 87 Ford F-150. We saw so many different leaders. We saw so many different lead changes. We had so many different drivers that were a factor and a key player in this one. And when it was all said and done, when the smoke cleared, it was Nick Donfrancesco, the driver of the 24, picking up the win, parking in a victory lane, third career win, first of the season. Just wanted to thank everybody for joining us on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Happy to bring you the action here on NASCAR Heat 5 2021 season, brought to you a little bit early here. First few races always brought to you the previous calendar year, just to get it all started before the holidays arrive. And we hope that everyone out there is staying safe and healthy through this wild and crazy time. Hope everybody's having a pleasant holidays still and keeping the spirit through all of this craziness. And we hope you enjoyed the action tonight. From all of us here at NASCAR, we're saying so long and stay fast, folks.